Hey, you guys. Let's see. Folks should slowly start coming in. I'm hoping that the notification from YouTube went out. So we shall see. I know this is a late one on a Monday night. Hey, Rednecks. Hey, Delmonica. Hey, I'm back. Oof, well needed vacay. I wanted to come in here and quickly chat with you guys because I know I haven't been missing some things with regards to the soap, but I've been missing you guys and talking to y'all. Yeah, I know. You shocked, huh? Hello, you guys. I shocked you guys. Hey, Angela, I miss you guys too. Thank you. It was a much needed trip. I enjoy every minute of it. Probably when I do the midweek chat or the one coming up on Friday, I will show you guys some pictures. Yes, I am. And I said, you know what? I can't wait to get to talk to you guys because a lot has happened since we talked last week. Hey, Cheryl. Liam gonna get a good time. I missed you guys too. I was trying to see if I can get Bree on with us. Okay, yeah, she's on a call. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, hold on one second. Oh boy, on live if you want it to hop on. Because I know it's late for some of I know it's late for some of you guys, especially the ones that are on the East Coast. It's almost 10 o'clock. But I did. I had a good time. I really did. We really did. We really did. So I was just searching every minute today to see if you did. So just to kind of give you a heads up, me and the kids and some of my kids' friends, we went to Cedar Point. Yes, we went to Cedar Point. And we actually stayed in the lake cabin on Lake Erie. So you can get these cabins that you can rent out, and it's right on Lake Erie, and it is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. So I did ride some roller coasters. I rode a couple. So, but it actually, this trip was planned last year. My son, as you guys probably already know, he graduated from college last year. And we were all supposed to take this trip as a graduation present to him. However, also some of you guys may know he got a job and had to relocate. And with all of the moving and stuff, we had to push the trip back. So we pushed it to this year. So yes. Yes. So that's what that was all about, but it was worth every penny. All right. So I don't want to keep you guys too long. We did a midweek chat. So I think it was like maybe about 100 and some of you guys in the midweek chat last week on Wednesday. So I won't go all the way back since it's just me. I think Bree says that she could pop in maybe in a little bit. But I want to talk about what happened and I got the clips, if you can tell on the screen, of what happened on Friday and what happened on Monday. And then we'll talk a little bit about spoilers too. Yes, Susan. Oh my God. Did you guys stay at the Hotel Breakers? Did you stay on Lake Erie in the cabins? Or did you stay, what's the other one? It's another one. It's a quite a Cedar Point has a couple of properties that you can stay on. I know, I loved it. Every penny of it. It was worth it. We had a great time. Great time. All right, so I want to kind of talk about what happened on Friday because I did not do a review on Friday. And I want to talk about what happened today. Okay, so I was able to see some of the episodes on demand because in Ohio, I don't know what channel and what time, and plus we were gone most of the day. So usually when I caught the episodes, it was probably like later in the evening when we got back and the kids were doing their own thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch the soaps. Okay. So I kind of only want to kind of talk about Friday the 19th episode and today's episode the 22nd because I did not give you guys any recaps. And then we're going to talk spoilers because there's a very, 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 very interesting spoiler on The Young and the Restless that I am totally excited about. I was shocked. And you guys who have seen the spoilers for this upcoming week and maybe even heard some of the stuff that's coming up for the week of the 29th. Oh, yeah. We got to talk about a little bit. And then, what's going on with Ho Ho Hope? I hate to say it like that, but yeah, she is all up all up in Finn's face. Okay, so without any further delay, because I know it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, it's 9 o'clock here, I'm going to first start off by talking about Young. Okay, so a couple things. What I do remember from Friday's episode and also leading up to today, this whole situation with Faith. Faith. What the heck is going on with Faith and Lucy? So Bree and we've been talking about it, and I know that Bree had stated in a couple of conversations about the fact that Faith might, she wants that attention with hanging out with the older kids. However, it seems that Faith may not be as interested in hanging out with Lucy. And the fact that Lucy lied to her dad, saying that the party was still on and she's so curious about alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah, it is. And I think maybe Bree and I know Keisha and the rest of us have been talking in our private group chats. This is definitely giving Cassie by. It's giving Cassie. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if they're trying to do a replay. Sometimes they dig in the crates to kind of bring up old storylines and rehash it. Look, this is how we got Claire Grace. They dug in the crates way back in 1998 to pull up Cole and Victoria's lost baby. 25 years later, here we are. 26 years later, here we are. So it's possible that they're trying to revisit this whole Cassie thing, and I'm wondering if it's tying into. Yes, Vicky, I am back. I'm wondering if they're tying into with Cassie, also tying into the storyline with what's going on with Sharon. Sharon is having all kind of hallucinations. I have got a chance to get a glance of what's going on the Tuesday episode, July 23rd. And I mean, she's having hallucinations about kissing Nicholas. And then she got into it with Phyllis Friday. Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on. They need to figure out what's going on with her medication. But I'm wondering how they're going to tie these two storylines in together in between with, the whole situation with Lucy and, her trying to hang out with Faith and the situation with of course, Sharon. So it's very, very interesting to say the least. Yeah, Lucy is Janet. In my opinion, a 14-year-old hanging out with someone who is 19, 20, 21. I just don't think it's a good idea. Now, do young girls maybe want to hang out with older girls? Excuse me, with older girls to, you know, maybe see what they do. They have so much fun. They're in college. Sure, there are some young girls that may do that. But in my opinion, she is way too young to be hanging with. I mean, me, myself, I know my mom did not let us hang out with the older girls when we were 14. And the older girls wasn't wanting to hang out with us either. A lot of them, now I'm coming up in a different time period. I'm Gen X, okay? So during that time, you had a lot of 20-year-olds that were either working in college or they were getting married. So you didn't find a lot of the 14-year-olds hanging out. Now, my daughter at the time, is when she was 14, she hung out with kids her own age. She didn't hang out with the 21-year-olds that was in college unless there was a mentorship program or something. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Let me see what you guys' comments. Okay, so Delmonica said Faith may be feeling weird because she knows about Daniel's responsible for Cassie's death. That's why I was saying it's given, maybe they're going to revisit the whole thing with Cassie. That's a possibility. Okay. So I'm wondering, and then Cheryl said there's a problem with Sharon's meds. There is. They need to figure out why, either change her meds or adjust them. But her just going around and yeah. I saw an article on Soap. She knows that Lucy's behavior triggers Sharon. Okay. Well, it's going to be interesting to see where this is going to go. Yep. That look Sharon gave Phyllis was straight. Don't F with me. Blackpink me. I'm telling, she went off on Phyllis. Phyllis got some restraint because old school Phyllis would have clapped back. But it was good that Nicholas gave her the heads up to say, hey, she's been a little bit, not herself. Her medication has been off kilter. So that's why, and I think that's what kind of held Phyllis more reserved, because any other time of the week, Phyllis would have clapped back real hard at Sharon. So that's good that Nicholas kind of gave her the heads up. Yep, only my older cousins, but not exactly. I have even older cousins at the time. I mean, most of my cousins were probably okay. So yeah, they were probably about maybe 7, 8 years older than us, and there was a group of us cousins that was the same age and went to school together. We played together, and then there was another group of cousins that was older than us, and they all hung together. Now, they looked out for us because, of course, we were family, but to hang out with them or them hanging out with us, no, it just didn't happen. Yeah. They'd be like, go in the house, go find something to do, y'all go play, while they were doing their grown folk stuff, So, yeah, Vicky, Lucy is too young to hang out with Faith. Absolutely. There's Bree, girl. Hey, Bree. Let me know if you want to jump in, okay? Okay, I'm going to call you, okay? Let me call you. So, give me you guys a second. I'm going to try to bring Bree in. Hey, girl.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. I'm glad I was able to catch up with you. I know you on the East Coast. Listen, y'all can keep y'all time zone. Being on the East Coast, I'm like, the days seem to, and maybe I'm used to the Central Time Zone being in Illinois, and I know when you cross over into Ohio and parts of Indiana, you're on the Eastern. I'm like, the day just flies by. I'm like, what the heck?
It does.
Oh my God!
I'm so used to it now.
Yeah, girl. I was like, I'm glad to gain my hour back.
Oh my goodness, I've been I rarely haven't really sleep like I want to lately. So I've been up since like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning each night lately.
Oh,
So
okay.
so no, you're fine. Like I have been working on some project stuff.
Yes, I did get
So
your message, and we got to talk about that. So I haven't
yeah.
forgot. I'm just catching up to everything. All right. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing here, I'm only talking about because you and I we covered a lot of stuff up till last Wednesday, and because it's a
Mhm.
late live, and I wanted to kind of reconnect with everybody, I'm basically only talking about Friday's episode and Monday's episode today, and because I
Okay.
didn't do any recaps from Friday and Monday. And so, and then kind of touching on some those spoilers, because one of those are spoilers I'm really excited about. The one I talked to you about, the Young and the Restless spoiler. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that's gonna go.
Me too.
So we're gonna hit because I didn't do spoilers this weekend either. So I kind of want to try to wrap all that in there without being too long. Okay, just to give you a
No
heads up.
worry.
Okay. All right. Okay, so basically, we only started talking about what's going on with the situation with Faith and with Lucy, and then Sharon and Phyllis. What happened over at Society? What do you have, right quick?
Yeah. Oh wow, Phyllis has some restraint.
That's what I said. That's what
She
I
has some
said.
restraint.
Mm-hmm.
Or, but maybe Phyllis is trying to be nice because she's still looking for a job. So she's like, you know what? I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe she senses that something's really off with Sharon.
Right.
Because if this was Diane, she would have went off.
Oh yeah.
Um, why hasn't anybody asked Sharon like who her therapist is, or like, because clearly she's acting different. The actress who's playing Sharon is incredible,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how she can tap into someone who is off on medication. She's talented, my goodness,
Yeah.
but Mariah hasn't contacted her therapist by now, because she keeps bringing up how her mother's been acting strange and she's taken on a huge workload to be distracted from something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about that time for them to sit down and speak with someone. Because it's been, what, a couple of months since her medication's been off like this?
Yeah, it seemed like it'd been almost a couple months, and somebody, if your mom is dazing off into space and all that, and she's, popping off, somebody need to, especially maybe her daughter, that's the closest thing, and say, hey, I need to get in touch with my mom's doctor to say, hey, what's going on with her meds or something, because either it's too much, too little, it needs an adjustment, or you just need to switch medication altogether because this ain't working right now.
Yeah, and it's obviously affecting her day to day, and it's to the point where all of her kids are noticing that. Everybody around her's noticing. So
Hmm.
I'm wondering if this is going to have something come into play regarding Lucy and Faith's storyline,
Right,
which I
that's what I
really
was
feel it
saying.
will.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Hey, Myra, I was thinking the same thing that they're going to probably tie those two together.
Yeah. Mm, they're obviously they're recreating Cassie storyline. It's literally the same thing. You got the little fast girl, because that's how Lucy's acting. She's acting fast. She wants to be around older kids, and I don't think it really has anything to do with Faith. I think she's just trying to get in where she can fit in to the person who has access to alcohol.
Right.
That's what I really think it is. And maybe to some extent she is a little bit obsessive when it comes to Faith. But I think it just has everything to do with she wants to do everything that's older. She kept talking about
Hmm.
asking what the college experience is like, and does she like to party? Does she like to drink? Like, unfortunately, a lot of kids nowadays are into that stuff, even at 14. Not to say it's right, not to say it's okay, but like I was talking to you guys about in the group chat, unfortunately, a lot of kids are into those things. They look to a lot of older kids because they have access to things that is, for adults.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like what Cassie was doing when she was trying to get around Daniel. So she really liked Daniel in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me something's about to happen to Lucy.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so I tried to turn the volume down just a little bit for you guys. They were saying that I guess I had my.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
You see the comment section?
Yes, I'm so sorry, y'all. My apologies. Is that better?
Jan thought it was better. Okay, so Vicky said it was better. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to keep it moving. All right, the other thing that was pretty darn interesting that was Nikki and Jack on Friday. She turned around and said because of the fact that Diane fired Kyle, she got some scheme that she's trying to pull, and Jack went off.
Well, that's a first in a long while.
I mean, she got a lot of nerve. After everything that you almost Jack, I can't put it all on Nikki because Jack was chasing behind her for the last 6-7 months. But you borrowed her husband because she was the one making the phone calls. Jack ran, right? So, Are you busy? I mean, I need you right now. I need this. Can you come here? I'm going through something. And he took off and ran. So they both culpable, okay? Because number one, why are you calling this man even though, yes, he's your sponsor, but it was a conflict of interest in the first place. They shouldn't have never had this arrangement. But for her to go there after everything that just happened, and she technically, Diane took a back seat while all that was going on just to accommodate Nikki's alcoholism. What do you think about that whole thing of what Nikki had to say?
She needed to talk to her husband because, see, and this is the issue I have with Jack as well, because he made himself available to this whole other woman. Now she has this whole expectation of him. Mm-hmm. And she feels, for whatever reason, everyone's against Nikki for whatever reason in her head. Mm-hmm. She feels Adam's against her. Now she feels Diane is against her. Mm-hmm. And this is a woman who should be focusing on her recovery.
Right.
And it makes me wonder, especially since we haven't really seen her go through her recovery, if maybe she's still drinking, because this was way off base. If anything, she owes Diane an apology for wanting to utilize that woman's husband for Uber Eats orders and late night phone calls and meetups and almost him unaliving himself. You would think she'd be more gracious for that woman allowing her to use her husband. But I do love the fact that Jack was able to stand up, and maybe he's finally growing a pair. Mm-hmm. Miracles do happen. Mm-hmm. But she feels everything is against her when all she has to do is just go to her husband. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. Or she can just rest in her soft girl era and just be a billionaire's wife and not worry about anything. Like, why is she so worried about trying to get into a company?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, between this situation and her angst with Adam last week, I'm like, girl, you fussing at everybody instead of taking care of your own sobriety right now.
Yeah.
First of all, I think it was a little bit too quick, in my opinion, but we're on soap opera time. You know.
It was like a blink and she's recovered. That's kind of, they're operating like how a B&B works.
Exactly.
Especially when they did Steffi's recovery.
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
Yep.
That's why it makes me wonder, with her anxiety being it the way it is, if she has fully recovered.
I don't know. She's just it's either Adam is the issue or I was tripping over. I mean, I'm like, girl, you Diane, you gonna say that to this man's face? But see, here's the thing. She felt comfortable saying that because any
Mm-hmm.
other thing that she would say, do, want, ask for, Jack would accommodate it. So she was like, okay, I can talk crazy about your wife to your face. You probably gonna accept that too.
Jack opened the door for that.
Yep.
For this woman to feel comfortable to say whatever she feels like. And on top of that, it was just a couple of weeks ago that Jack and Nikki were sitting down, and I can't remember the exact discussion, but they were saying, like, we're best friends to the end and people need to get over it. Something to that effect.
Exactly.
So, what is Nikki to expect when this man opened the door for her to feel this comfortable to talk any sort of way to Diane like that?
Yep.
Or about Diane like that. It's just insane how Nikki and Victor just celebrated 40 years of marriage, and they refuse to communicate with one another. And all of this stuff is going on, and it was to be a simple question for her to go to her husband and see what he's been up to and what he's been doing. And that's another thing. No one's keeping an eye on Nikki. They're just trusting her word that she's recovered all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And it's just like, and then you finna, I'll talk about that spoiler after I'm done with Young and the Restless for Friday and Monday. But, yeah, it looked like Jack was almost in tears. She hurt his feelings by talking about his wife.
It was about time. He is about 8 months too late.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as, well, I want to say that as soon as that woman said that she was using him to help her, like as an enabler to help her with her addiction, he should have cut her off.
Mm-hmm.
And when she tried to circle around and ask him to be her sponsor again, that was a red flag to me. But at that moment, he should have just cut things off. It wasn't good for his health either.
Nope. That man almost took himself out for her.
And now his company's in shambles.
Yeah, his company's in shambles. Right after she came back from rehab, this outpatient or whatever, she still wanted him to be her sponsor after that. It's like, girl, your husband is ready to destroy Genoa City right now because of you.
He is playing Monopoly.
Yes, he is. He's, as they call it, big bank take little bank.
Mm-hmm. And he is. I don't understand what his end game is, but you would think that with 40 years of marital experience, I guess, they would be able to communicate. She'll be able to rely on him as her husband and not have to worry about what somebody else's wife is doing.
Mm-hmm. You would think.
And she's a horrible stepmother to Adam. The way she was talking to this man, like why does this woman have so much vitriol in her voice every time she thinks of Adam? And I'm like, he's not the one who asked to be in that position at Newman Media. That's all, once again, her husband's doing. Her husband's company.
Yeah, she really, I understand that Adam has done some things in the past, but a lot of this is predicated on the fact that he got a kid with another woman. Now, see, the situation with Ashley and Abby, that was stolen sperm. Yeah. But Victor laid with Hope and got a whole baby out of that situation, and that's still a whole problem 30 some years later, or 30 plus years later, however old Adam should be now. She still got an issue with that man. Her kids are well beyond anything, and Adam is just like his father. Just like him.
I agree with that. And my thing is, she laid up with a whole other man and she had Dylan.
That is true. Paul.
And that's her firstborn. Like, come on. And she's been pregnant numerous of times by other men on this show. Come on now.
She needs to chill out.
She got to get over herself.
Yes, she do. All right. We also have, before we switch over to Bowl, because I know a lot of folks got stuff to talk about on Bowl. What did you think about Adam taking the blame for or telling Billy he did something to make Chelsea mad in order to cover up the cheating? Because Billy, like, he was about to punch him in the face. He even said it. But he was glad that he was honest.
I mean, he's used to people blaming him for everything. So he was like, look, I'll go ahead and just take this on the chin and keep it moving. And maybe he's just trying to preserve both relationships, because I guess he sees, and this is my thoughts, I think he probably sees Chelsea and Billy as something positive for her to keep her on the straight and narrow. So he doesn't want her to lose that. Otherwise, she'll really lose it or go back to her old ways. I think he's more so trying to preserve both the relationships, preferably his. Mm-hmm. I don't think he really did that for Billy's benefit, but for Chelsea and for Sally, I think he will. He's, like I said, he's used to taking the blame, so he'll take that on the chin for them.
Here's the other thing. I have a feeling Billy's going to, in true soap opera fashion, and it seems pretty predictable to me, I honestly believe that Billy's going to go back to Chelsea and said, Adam told me everything. I almost wanted to punch him in the face. And then she going to be like, but I'm sorry, we didn't mean to sleep together. And he going to be like, wait, what? He told me he said something. That's normally how the soaps operated. Because if he say exactly what I just said, she's going to think that Adam told him about the cheating instead.
I would prefer they hurry up and wrap that up, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I'm not... Because when both of the actors did, like, the interview, I think Melissa said this could be ongoing.
I hope not.
So I hope not either. Just wrap that up. And plus, Billy got a whole lot of issues coming his way anyway.
Yes, he
so this should be the last of his issues. But will it come out this soon, this week? Hopefully for July sweeps. Otherwise, they're going to drag this out probably till Christmas. Who knows?
Oh God! Now, what do you think about Billy and Sally if they do find out? Could they possibly do revenge cheating? And would you think that those two would be hot together if they was to, take them out of the coupling that they're currently in? Because to me, honestly, Sally and Adam doesn't have the fire that they had 2 years ago. And Chelsea and Billy, it's just a snooze fest at this point.
I keep forgetting they're together until I see them together.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, y'all. But as far as Billy and Sally, I know they've been chem testing. Mm-hmm. I really haven't seen anything that motivates me to root for, them in that sort of way. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, there's not many women he hasn't been with on the show. I was wondering if they were going to circle Billy and Sharon back around to each other based off of one of the episodes I saw. But, it's something new. It's something fresh. I'll try to give it a chance. Mm-hmm. You hear the confidence in my voice in that?
I know. But, I just think that, Billy has a little bit of a rebel energy. And right. Sally has well, she used to. I don't know if they could put that back in her. But she had that type of, she was the girl that used to give Steffi a run for her money.
Yeah.
So could if they brought that energy back, because right now to me, I don't think Young and the Restless have done the Sally character any justice. I really don't. I mean, they brought her to town. Yes, she did a little bit of scheming in the beginning. Got involved with Adam, which we were all so excited about 2021, 2022. And then y'all, they
Hmm.
dropped the ball on that by throwing Nicholas in there last year. And it's just not there for me anymore with these two.
Because of, you think because the real life couple, they broke up, and
I mean, I
I don't know,
don't.
this.
Well, here's the thing, Bree. From the way it seemed to me is they obviously had an attraction. When they got into the meat of the story, they started dating, and I'm wondering, is that why they separated them? Because look like they did that before with other folks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, is there something in their clause that, you know, maybe folks can't be together if they're currently in a relationship as a couple on the screen? I don't know. I'm just guessing, not saying that that's what it was, but as soon as we found out they were dating, they separated those two on
Right. Well,
screen.
I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
wasn't he dating Sharon Case on the show too?
Right, and then right after that we found out they started dating, then they separated those two, and then he went with Chelsea. You know, so yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'll give it a chance of Billy and Sally. I would
Hmm.
prefer. I wish they had just gone with what I wanted when she originally came back onto YNR, was her and Kyle, because they've never done that before.
Right.
And how interesting would that be, since Summer and Sally are kind of buddy buddy, if Sally and Kyle just happen to hook up.
Right. Hmm.
And then Summer ends up firing her because of that. But I would love to see her with Kyle. I'd love to see her with Chance, since he doesn't have a woman who cares about him. Um, it's, I guess I would have to kind of be sold on Billy and Sally a little bit more, with a
Hmm.
couple more interviews.
Yeah, I just don't. Honestly, she should be back on Bold with the lack of number of characters. She needs to
Mm-hmm.
be back on Bold. I mean, that would right now. Hope has been bounced between Thomas and now circling Finn. I mean, why not bring another lady on the show to kind of like settle down Hope a little bit? And I know she's supposed to have been settled down all these years, being, the hope for the future, virtue, blah, 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 which that was a lie back then, too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but what I'm saying is we need more characters. They should have left Sally over there. That's where
Especially since she's a designer.
she's a designer, and her heritage, which was the original OG Sally Spectra, started from
Yeah.
there.
I was so disappointed for Courtney Hope when they made that decision,
Hmm.
because I'm like, it's like I felt like they were disrespecting Sally Spectra, the OG Sally Spectra. That was one of my favorite daytime
Hmm.
characters of all time. They needed that representation on Forrester, and like now there's like only one fashion house. But on top of that, the girl was a talented actress,
Yes, she
and she
is.
wasn't related to anybody.
Right. I could see her shaking up Thomas over there. Well, she was with Thomas for a hot minute, shaking up
Hmm.
Finn. Shaking put her back with Liam. I
Yeah.
thought they were pretty hot when they were under them bricks in the building. I
Hmm.
mean, they put her back there. That's where she belonged. And even bring Lucy over. Give Luna and RJ a run for their money.
You said
Age her
Lucy?
up. Yeah, I mean, the girl is 18. Age Sora her. Bring her over. And plus her grandma is over there.
Right. I've been wanting to bring Phyllis over to be.
I mean,
I
if
want
Phyllis,
her
and
and Bill to
then,
be together.
right, and then Sheila Sharp is there. Sheila's a grandma too. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all listening. Y'all gotta spice this up. Ain't nobody want to. Listen. I'm in the age group as Brooke, and I'm gonna say this. I don't mind lingerie, but that whole thing that they doing, I can't. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, we'll touch on that.
I
She
don't.
looked fantastic, though.
I didn't say that. That's why I said I like lingerie too, and I look fantastic at 53. However,
Hey,
as a soap opera, I don't. Can we? What happened? Let's do a corporate takeover. That's what's got me interested over on Young and the Restless right now.
mm-hmm.
You know,
You
I'm not
touched on it
saying that
earlier.
Catherine Kelly Lang looks great for, for our generation. I think she's a few years old. She might be boomer. I'm not sure. But I just, why? Or else we don't see the couture anymore, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I just think they
Mm.
need to do some moving some pieces around on the character board, not as in the actors and actresses because these are people, but put Sally back over on Bold, throw Lucy in there, age her, Sora her up. We got Will coming back.
Right.
I would be interested in seeing that. Or are they going to throw? Well, is Will related? Will is not related to Luna as well. She won't be if the DNA test is not
Which is what we're
correct.
hoping for.
Right.
Oh, wow. She's going to be 63 on the 25th of July.
Yeah, her birthday is coming up this week. Yep, she's a boomer then. Yep, she'll be 63. The girl got a body like we talk about all these ladies. Same thing with Michelle Stafford.
Yeah.
The woman that plays Diane Jenkins, Susan
Susan Walter.
Ashby,
Yeah.
Susan Walters
Mm-hmm.
Ashby, all those ladies, they look good. They got the bodies of it. I just think the storyline is just, I feel like what Brooke is saying. Let's do something else. Let's not do this.
I honestly thought she was going to, I thought Hope was going to do that, but after what I saw, her failed attempt to try to seduce a man, I'm like, maybe you shouldn't do Brooke's bedroom. You might be tarnishing her name by doing that. But I get the positivity that they're trying to promote, but it's rinse and repeat.
Right.
And if they had Sally on to actually be competition for Foresters, have fashion shows, actually show other characters, that's what I appreciate about Sally Spectra when she was on May She Rest in Peace. We got to see a whole storyline arc. We got to see Macy. We got to see Clark. We got to see Darla. That whole Saul. Everybody. And it's just unfortunate that the storylines on B&B is just the Spencers, the Logans, and the Foresters.
Exactly. Right now, with having Sally over at YNR, the girl is supposed to be the namesake of Sally Spectra with with the creativity. She's still, and granted, she's working the youth line, but she's under Summer. Why can't she have her own design house? And they tried it, but then Young and the Restless threw it out. Then if you don't have the room for it on YNR, send her back to LA.
Right. And bring Thomas back and say he wants to take a break from Forrester and run a new fashion house. I mean, he has the money and the capability to design, and put them together as a couple, because Sally would give Hope a lot of competition.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we don't have to continue to rinse, as you say, wash, rinse, and repeat the whole Hope, Logan versus Forrester. where they going back and forth, Steffi and Hope again. It's like if it's not Liam for the last 12 years, now it's other stuff. The job, Fan. It's like can we do something else?
Yeah.
All right, so
Just a waste.
I know, right? All right, so before we switch over to Bold, I want to kind of talk about the spoilers coming up for this week. And that's one of the things I told you guys at the beginning of the live is because I did not do a spoilers video and the two recaps from Monday and this past Friday. I kind of wanted to kind of chat about it this week. Few interesting things coming up this week on the week of the 22nd through the 26th. Tomorrow, we find out, and for those who have already watched the Canadian episode, this is a day ahead, of course. Victor is acquiring Chancellor and wants Nikki Newman to run it, which gives a permanent spot as CEO over at Newman Media to Adam. Now, there's a couple of questions. Where does that leave Billy? Where does that leave Lily?
Well, Lily was always just an employee, and because that's what I think. Victor's not going to have Billy work over there.
No.
I think, yeah, Lily's going to be in a lesser role over at Chancellor unless she decides to go back over to work for her brother. But Billy, he's going to take Kyle's position over at Jabot. And then when Kyle falls on his face, Billy and Kyle are going to probably duke it out. But I think it's going to lead him back over to Jabot because Jack has a skeleton crew that he's working with. His wife is incompetent to do her job. And he said something early on a couple of weeks ago about how he misses having his family there. He's going to welcome Billy with open arms. Just have anybody over there.
Exactly. So, it's going to be interesting because one of the big things that he talked about is the fact that he wants to preserve Catherine Chancellor's legacy. And so, with that being said, that's how, I guess, in my opinion, Jill, if she's walking away from this, and we kind of talked about this earlier, with regards to, maybe Jess Walton. I'm not saying this, you guys. This is just conversation, speculation. Jess Walton has only been on video chat. I mean, would she just decide to maybe take a step back? And what does that leave the company? I mean, they could have left the storyline being in Billy's hands, but Billy probably would have ran that company in the ground. And so with Jill obviously giving, signing over or letting Victor acquire it, then, I mean, Billy is going to be, he's going to be blindsided.
And rightfully so, especially since he was using her illness to try to make moves within the company anyway. He got his way.
Right.
But clearly his mother doesn't trust him to run anything, probably not even a sandwich shop.
Nope.
But he's more than likely going to go over to the Abbott since the Abbott name was so important to you. He's going to work back over with the Abbotts over at Jabot.
I'm curious to see his reaction.
And you remember last week where Victor had that random conversation over at Genoa's at GCAC with Billy? I think it probably took place then. He probably had that phone call with Jill right then. He took that opportunity to try to be nonchalant about it and rub it in Billy's face.
Yep. Because, I mean, why would he have that conversation? Probably once he found out that company demerged, he probably blamed it on him. They wanted out to get away from him or whatever. You know what I mean? And so, go ahead.
And I was going to say, Victor's playing Monopoly. He
Yeah,
sees his opportunity.
I agree. I agree. Hold on one second. I'm trying to find. I got the ones for Bold. I'm trying to find the rest of them for Young and the Restless. But
Okay.
some of the other things that I do remember off the top of my head is there is a proposal happening this week where we see Devon proposing to Abby. I wonder if she gonna say yes.
Oh, I just thought of something.
Hmm.
He could probably have Abby in that CEO position over at Chancellor.
Yeah, but he said he wants Nikki to run it. So, I mean, I don't think she's just going to be sitting back like Jill from afar. Would she
Nope.
run the company like she was running Newman Media, where she was behind the desk?
Mm-hmm. But this man is handing this woman companies. I don't understand why she, like, look at her and on that screen. Why is she so sourpuss about everything? Everything. You're rich. This man's about to hand you another company for you to run. And I feel that she would like to do this more, especially since it has to do with Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
But this is great for Adam since he don't have to worry about Nikki anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, because that's the other thing. Adam will, and I think I mentioned that earlier, is the fact that he's going to get that permanent position over as the CEO of Newman Media. So,
Praise, praise the Lord.
yeah, but the
I
thing is, who's running? Because remember, we were in this scenario before. Is
mm-hmm.
Victoria now? Victoria will be having second thoughts later this week about coming back to Newman, but that don't mean she's gonna quit. And if she's back in that position of being Adam's boss, like she was the last time he ran Newman Media, are we gonna have a whole nother problem all over again with Victoria?
She's just like her mother. I wouldn't put it past her to try to make things difficult. It would
Um.
actually
Mm,
serve her better to run Glissade like she did Brash and Sassy. And I thought he would make her CEO of that company at first, I thought.
mm-hmm.
But they threw Audra and Kyle into the mix. I'm like, okay. But she refuses to move forward when it comes to Adam. She has the same vitriol as her mother, so it's going to be that same back and forth again.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Hold on one second. I think. Okay, so yeah, we got the proposal. We have. Oh my god, I can't stand when my computer does that. We got the proposal. We got Victor taking over the company. The whole argument, of course, we saw with with Jack and Nikki. So yeah, that pretty much was the biggest thing. And then this whole thing with what's her name, Summer and Kyle
Mm-hmm.
is about to get real ugly this week.
Yeah, I saw that Friday's episode. I'm like, girl, just chill out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole other story.
Yep.
I want to see how that plays out the rest of this week.
Yep, it's going to be crazy. So we got some pretty interesting stuff. And then going into the week of the 29th, that transition of Chancellor is supposed to go down. So the announcement obviously is this week, and then the actual transition of who, the running and the acquisition, that's supposed to happen next week. And sweeps end on the 24th or the 26th. So it's sometime this week is we coming into the last few days of July sweep. So, yep.
And they're coming out with a bang for YNR. I can't say the same for B&B yet.
Girl. Yeah. Let's talk about Bold. Let's move it. Move it, move it, move it. Okay. So, first of all, Steffi walks in on Brookenridge in that design office, partially undressed. Now, the interesting thing is that Steffi said that she did not expect them to be. Everybody's been in that design room making out. Everybody, including her. Thomas and Hope been in there. RJ and Luna been in there. Katie and Carter been in there. Even Quinn and Carter been in there. Everybody makes out in that place, in that room.
On that couch too.
If the walls could talk.
The walls probably haven't been cleaned in years. It was just funny how the door was randomly locked and she had the urge to go get a key. I'm like, when? Since when?
But my thing is, if the door is locked, you knock. But right. Wait a minute. But here's the thing, Bree. As hard as she was twisting that handle and making noise to get in that door, you mean to tell me Brookenridge didn't hear that?
They weren't trying to hear that. And plus, like, I don't understand why Steffi feels she's running the place. She is a co-CEO to Brooke at this point. So Brooke had every right to lock that door. Or my question was, what was she needing that was so necessary?
It was some papers. Because remember, I don't know if you remember that scene. She's like, I come in and look for something for the summit. And it was sitting right there. And she picked it up and then she walked out. And she said, I'm tired of walking into Logan's. But right before that,
your daddy for that.
Yeah, well, her daddy, her granddaddy, her husband,
her uncles. Like, what is she complaining about at this point for life?
I mean, your dad is intertwined with one. Your husband can't stop talking to one. You know, I mean, come on. Your granddad is married to one.
Mm-hmm.
And the other sister, Katie, she works there. They gave her a job. So you're going to run into some Logans. There's 3 of them around there. Well, no, it's 4. I mean, that's her brother, but RJ is still
a Logan. Very much. Because he really doesn't identify with his Forrester side unless he wants to throw some weight around.
Right.
And go from there. But there's nothing but Logan.
And you might as well, we thought Liam was one too.
Yeah, well, I guess he retired that cape. He's not cheerleading for the Logans anymore.
Right, because for a while him and Brooke would cry together. I ain't gonna forget that. Was that last year or the year before last? Them two, every time. That was before Hope and Thomas got together, and there was a little bit of low-key energy between them, especially at that fashion show. Yeah. Liam was at Brooke's house every freaking day crying about what was going on with his wife.
And keeping secrets together.
Right.
I thought they were really going to hook up, but I guess they didn't want to go that route.
No, I guess they said we can't put Brooke with Liam. We got to leave him free and clear for somebody. But anyway.
Steffy.
Right.
And that's it.
Now, here's where I thought they were going to go with this bedroom line. I knew that they were going to probably have Brooke oversee it.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually thought that they were going to move it over to Hope to maybe, like, wear stuff.
Or be the face.
Right.
I mean, she is a Logan daughter. I really thought, this is why July Steve's disappointed me. I thought they were going to keep Thomas on. I thought he was going to design for the bedroom line, and I thought they were going to get rid of Hope for the future because she's outgrown it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be the face of Brooke's bedroom line since she was cheerleading for her mother to make a comeback and that sort of thing. And being that she's changed and she's more of into her adult role, I thought she would be the face of Brooke's bedroom.
Yeah.
This is why this is such a letdown.
Yeah, I mean, and if they want to play with the fact that, Finn might get a couple of look-sees, and I don't know. I mean, for somebody that is so hard pressed on being Team Steffi, how are they going to transition this thing? It's going to be something major in order to transition Finn out of Team Steffi.
Yeah, because this woman almost had a baby outside of her relationship on him, and he still took her in.
Yeah.
So it would have to take a grenade of, like, he would have to welcome Sheila with open arms, invite her to dinner, and like have a full-blown relationship for Steffi to leave him. That's the only way I can see that happening, because he's not leaving her.
Mm-mm. Nope. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Now, there are some interesting things, and I guess I can intertwine, this whole thing into this. We did find out today. Well, first of all, okay. We had Steffi walk in on Brookenridge. We had Finn walk in on Hope with some moo on and a piece of lingerie up under there, because it looked like a teddy or something, or one piece, because her legs were showing, and it looks like a leotard type thing up under there. So it wasn't a dress or anything. And she asking him, does he like what he see? And all this so kind of stuff. Dude, you should have walked out the door.
Yeah. As soon as she's, first of all, she was trying to model Ric Flair's robe and have that whole leotard underneath there, thinking that she's really doing something. And this man comes in, she's trying to press up on him. You would think at that moment, okay, this is my wife's enemy. Let me go ahead and leave. His dumb behind goes and closes the door.
That's the girl. You ought to see my facial reaction when I saw that. I was on my way back home, coming down I-80, watching this episode today, because I know I had my son and I was driving, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, did he just close the door?
And I'm like, you're giving her opportunity.
Well, here's the thing. If you don't want somebody to get the wrong message, you got to do something to not give them the wrong message. Walk out the door. Because in her mind, she was like, he ain't leave.
Exactly. He's giving her nothing but ammo to go to Steffi about and say, like, hey, your husband was in the dressing room with me. He chose to close the door so we could have some privacy. Anyway, she could have spent it so many different ways to Steffi if she wants to. You giving her nothing but ammo. But once again, why didn't you walk out the door, especially after you just finished your phone call conversation, which he should have had in his car? Especially since he was dealing with the patient.
Girl, wait. Here's the other thing. They're in the Forrester building. Anybody could have walked in there and saw him. Could have been Ridge or Brooke or any of the other Logans, or anybody could have saw him in there with her dressed like that. And you figure it was okay to close that door and have that conversation. Yeah. He's going to get enough of having HIPAA violation phone calls in public.
Right. But the issue I have with this man is he thought the solution to try to shut her down was to close the door. And that he asked the right questions. He's like, is it about Steffi? Or are you just using me for Steffi? And he was asking me, it's not asking me, but he was asking her about the headaches. And I'm like, sir, you volunteered those massages. You could have wrote a script for that.
Right.
But at that moment, he knows for sure now that this woman is trying to put a wedge between him and Steffy, he should have walked out that door. How is it Steffy and Liam had enough time to talk? She had a phone conversation with somebody else, still had plenty of time to talk with Liam. He's in that room all this time with Hope.
You want to hear
and her lingerie.
Right. You want to hear something else that's crazy? He basically said that I didn't want to believe that she was really guilty anyway. So you set up there and put a whole front on for your mama, for your wife, and got some, because obviously that was a turn on for Steffi, because she decided 2.5 years to give him some on that couch. And then you turn around and tell Hope, though. I really didn't want, to believe that she actually did this,
And he said, I had time to think about it, and you know what? I never thought that she would do it. I keep saying this. This man is loyal to nobody. He is just loyal to whoever's in front of him at that moment. And I think this is how he always felt. Even in front of Steffi, in front of Lee. I think that's why he wanted to be the one to confront Sheila. And I think he probably would have helped Sheila in that regard, but his wife and Lee were very insistent. He is going to be loyal to he's going to say whatever, depending on who's in front of him. That's why Steffi should have never gave him anything. He didn't deserve it, because it wasn't genuine. He still feels that Sheila should be free, which I think he said that. He's like, she's changed person, and she's making strides, she's working, she's staying out the way. And this goes completely against what his wife has said. Actually, this goes against what he just said 2 Fridays ago to his wife, where they're supposed to have that steamy kiss and that steamy interaction that never really happened. And he said that he was going to stay away from Sheila regardless if she's right or wrong. He's focused on his wife. What the hell was this?
Girl, I'm telling you, he's a people pleaser. Like you said, he's not loyal. Well, the thing is, he's the type of person that don't want trouble. He's trying to save face, but he's not being honest. Because you, deep down in your hearts of hearts, you really did not want to, send Sheila in for questioning. And then when you got the phone call from Deacon to say, hey, Sheila's been released, there's no evidence, blah, 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 which a blind person could have told you that. You're on the flip side, like, well, I never thought she was guilty in the first place. But you were all performative. That whole thing at Il Giardino in front of Chief Deputy Baker was all performative.
Yeah. And all just so he can get some within 2 years. And I'm like, even when he got that phone call, he still chose to be in a room with Hope.
Yep.
And instead of go to his wife, like he said that his intentions were to go see his wife. I don't understand how Liam was able to make his way to his wife, but Finn has taken detours and had the opportunity to leave. He didn't need to have that conversation with Hope, because once again, this gives her ammo to go to Steffi with and say, well, your husband feels differently about what happened with Sheila, and I agree with him, just so she can warm her way into with this man. And then stick it to Steffi.
Exactly. And this is where she was going to be like, when you talk to my husband, oh, he was down in the dressing room with me with the door closed.
Yep.
And we had a long conversation. And he's told me how he really feels, because I don't judge him. Remember, she said, I'm not going to judge you. You can always say how you feel with me. Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. And he walks right into that door she left open, and he's sharing all these. This is the intimacy that she likes to get from Finn because she knows that she can at least hug on his heartstrings when it comes to Sheila, but
Mm-hmm.
not any other way.
Mm-hmm.
But this is more so the reason why I don't think she has real attraction for Finn. Because even the way she tried to come at him didn't seem genuine. It didn't. Plus, they kept replaying the stuff that Steffi was saying in the office about like, how can you get one over on me? Like what can you do to me? That's her only motivation when it comes to Finn. And because if you compare that to how she was with Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
she had no problem being sexy. She had no problem wearing lingerie and closing the door and pushing up against him and teasing him and all of that. That came natural because that was a man that she wanted and that she desired. Hell, that's the man that she stepped outside of her marriage for. Whereas the only motivation she has towards Finn is to get even on Steffi. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just giving her nothing but ammo to go to Steffi about.
Yep. Now there was a conversation prior to Finn seeing Hope, which was a conversation between Finn and Liam. And Liam was like, "Hey, I gotta give you kudos for stepping up. You know, you actually want to protect your family." No, Liam, he wanted to get some.
Yep. It's been 2 years. And he was happy about that phone call too. He was happy. It's like I haven't had it in a while.
Right.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that
like he's
phone
just
call he and
happy
Steffi
teasing.
had on at the beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was so happy. He was like, finally, my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he didn't even deserve it at all.
It'd be different if he stand on what he's speaking of. You know,
Right,
and listen,
exactly.
I'm a She-Con fan. You know, I don't want Sheila to be guilty. She's not. I don't think she did this. I think this is a Nozawa thing, or maybe Jack or somebody, but I don't think it's Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
And this man is afraid of his wife. Not, the getting some is one thing, but I think he just do not want to hear. Steffi is very, very domineering. I gotta, hey,
Oh,
we throw our shades at Hope. Steffi, I mean, you gotta allow a safe space for your husband to tell you how you feel, and y'all gotta talk this
I
out.
I agree. She's very domineering. We saw the love scene. She was definitely on top. That was
Right? Yeah,
it.
girl, you so crazy. She definitely was. But I mean, in regards to what this man actually feels, listen,
Mm-hmm.
if he truly wants to hang around his birth mom, as one of y'all call him sperm donor, not sperm, egg donor.
Egg donor.
Egg donor. If he want to hang around his birth mom, bio mom, egg donor, whatever title that Sheila has, and he feels some kind of way with that, you need to speak your truth and stand on it. But you also got to deal with what
Right.
comes from it. And if that means Steffi can't fool with you, Steffi can't fool with you. But you can't be sitting up here telling your wife, "Oh yeah, I'm standing on business. Sheila has no blah 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 blah." And then you go and tell Hope, "Well, I didn't think she was really guilty in the first place. I think people deserve second chances. I didn't believe it. I didn't want it." You talking out of two sides of your neck.
Yeah.
And to the wrong
And
people.
disrespect.
And to the wrong people. Because it's one thing is your wife. It's her enemy right now. That you saying those opposite things to.
And the same enemy who said that she's attracted to you and tried to push up on you to try to seduce you. That was a failed attempt, but we'll get into that in a second. But he still shared that after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
He's still choosing to have that sort of intimacy with Hope in that regard with Sheila. That's the only thing they can really bond on. I haven't seen them really bond on anything else.
Right. Yeah. So Hope keep having these flashbacks of her conversation with Steffi. And it's just ammunition to stick it to try to come for Finn. There's nothing you can do to me. Remember how Steffi say, because Hope said something like, "Cut you down to size" or something like that.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
and so Steffi was like, "Oh, I know you ain't talking about me," in so many words. And now in Hope's mind, she was like, watch me. What can you do to me?
And
She gonna try to take your husband. Go ahead, Bree.
yeah, that was a failed attempt to try to get somebody's husband. And the thing is, she has the genetics to try to pull that off, and she disappointed her mother's genetics. You're a Logan. This is your specialty, especially your mother's. She would be disappointed if she found out that she wasn't able to seduce a man out of his marriage. I mean, out of all the marriages that Brooke has seduced men out of, like, she deserves championship awards. And then to see what Hope had done with that failed attempt with that little dollar store robe she had on, and then she's like, "Oh my goodness, well, I hope you're not being controlled. I want you to get in trouble." I mean, just very passive. Her mother would be so disappointed. I mean, what was the whole purpose of Brooke sleeping around with all these men and getting a reputation and having Hope as her daughter if she wasn't going to live up to that reputation and pass the torch for her daughter to do this? That this is just a mess. How are you a failed 304?
Girl, listen, they trying to slowly transition her out of the whole virtuous Hope into Mama Bear 2.0 Brooke version of Hope. So I don't know what they tried to do with that.
They started that last year with Thomas.
Well, the thing is, in this outfit that she has on, I've seen her in better outfits with Thomas. She remember when Liam came over to the house, and she had lingerie on, and she said Thomas is coming through. I might want to have his baby.
Yes, exactly. But for Finn, she got Ric Flair's robe on, the little dollar store bejangles hanging from it, and she has all those bad fashions behind her.
Girl,
in the
that's
background.
from and no shade, because I like clearance rack, but that's from Walmart clearance rack, last sale, last call. I'm like, what does she got on? I knew it was some form of lingerie because the way it was designed underneath that little glittery robe, right? But
whatever that was, it just
a
wasn't
moo.
sexy.
That's what I said. It looked like a moo.
It was a cut Ric Flair robe. If you guys know who Ric Flair is, he's a wrestler, one of the best legends out there. He always had on a sparkly robe of some sort, and his was more classy and more detailed. I don't know what this was. She got this from Temu, from Shein. It was just falling to pieces, and she wasn't even trying to be sexy in it at all. She was being passive, trying to seduce him. That's why I said
Temu, because there's nice stuff on Temu. She got that from Wish.
Oh yes, clearly most of her fashions have came from Wish. We saw this stuff on the background. Like she had like a tan poncho, and she had a prom dress, and she had a farm dress. Like this woman is lacking style. That's why she desperately needs Thomas in her life. She was
okay. Hold on, Bree. I'm gonna listen. The thing is, this is an impromptu chat. I understand that. I don't know if this is your first time here. We do pay attention to the comments. However, we started this late. I normally don't go live on Mondays. I did this coming back off the weekend. And we're just having a conversation. And we're trying to keep it short and sweet because we do know that it's late. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So we wanted to give content and have conversation, and then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled recaps, midweek chats, and the Friday night lives. I hope that makes sense for you. Go ahead, Bree.
Oh yeah, that I completely understand. And we got over 80 people in the chat, so you guys were ready. You guys were ready to talk about Hope and these terrible fashions, but she is just a failure on all fronts. She failed her marriage. She failed at trying to keep Thomas, and he wanted her all to himself. Her line is failing every other year, and she's a failed 304. She can't even seduce Finn, of all people, and he got two acorns in his head. He's book smart, but when it comes to everything else, he's just not a smart man at all. She failed at that.
Yep. Ooh, child. Yeah, this is gonna get crazy. And let me pull up the spoilers for this upcoming week. Because I'm trying to... Okay, so... Yeah, see, Finn is going to... he gonna get under Steffy's skin tomorrow about Sheila's innocence. So probably some of what he told Hope look like he might tell Steffy tomorrow about the fact of how he feel about Sheila being innocent, and that ain't gonna sit well with Steffy at all.
Neither him closing the door with a half-naked woman that's her enemy either.
I'm wondering if he gonna tell her about the fact that she came on to him.
I think he's gonna be the lesser of two evils. He knows that that Hope is a little bit more tangible for Steffy to get to, especially since she worked. Oh, because that could affect her job too. Yep. But the Sheila thing is probably going to be a touchy subject, and she'll probably get the news about Sheila being out. So he's like, I'm not trying to get rid of it. I'm trying to harm my marriage. So I think he chose the lesser of two evils, and he's going to try to use his egg donor to try to soften that blow.
I know, right? Poppy's going to be eavesdropping as Katie questioned Bill. We saw that on the promo. Steffi's going to be upset on Wednesday that Brooke is going to be the face of the bedroom relaunch.
It's her line. I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Like, it's her line. It's Brooke's bedroom. Brooke was going to do that. Her dad, Ridge, was very insistent. But anyway.
Yeah. But anyway. Bill asked Lee for a favor. Now, that is an interesting spoiler. So I'm wondering, because there's Katie's going to, on that same day, question the accuracy of Luna's paternity test. So I'm wondering with that question, because Katie might be like, how did y'all do the test? Oh, we pulled the box, swabbed them out, blah, blah, blah. How do you know that's legit? You need to go have a real DNA test, do a blood test. So I'm wondering if Bill is going to ask Lee to maybe do a blood test. Maybe that would be the personal favor. Because what else would he be asking her? You know what I mean?
That's what they should have done in the first go around. But I can't wait to see Lee's reaction to that. I know some people online are thinking that it's her. I don't think it's her. I really feel it's Poppy, and I think it's Jack. But to solidify things, especially since things are in question now, I'm glad that Katie is questioning everything. Thank goodness, because I'm so tired of Poppy and the way she's been moving on this show.
Right. Katie is now going to also on Thursday dig into Poppy's past. So she could find out about Tom. She could find out about the mints. She found out a lot of stuff. Now, is she putting herself in danger? Because if Poppy is the person behind what happened to Tom and Hollis, or Jack helping her to cover it, Katie could be putting herself in danger.
And that's going to be a no-no with Bill.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Steffy is going to air out all the pain in her past about she's not happy because Brooke and Hope worry about Steffy furthering the Logan Forrester feud. Steffy is going to Steffi allows past hurts to surface when speaking to Ridge. So more than likely she gonna have a conversation with her father about everything that happened with the Logans that caused her pain. That's what that sounds like to me on Thursday.
And it's going to go through one ear and out the other.
Yeah, because they headed to Monte Carlo the end of this week, going into next week. So that ain't stopping nothing.
Nope.
Nope. Now here we go. Friday, the cliffhanger, the 26th. Poppy gets agitated when Katie turns up the heat. So, yeah, well, just like we were saying, when Poppy finds out that Katie's putting pressure on her, maybe Katie found out something. Maybe she found out the connection with Tom. Maybe she found out about the mints with RJ and Luna, because Brooke knows, but she kept that a secret. So if Katie finds something and confront Poppy with it, she gets agitated. What could she do next is the question.
That's a very good question. I'm glad that we're going to see Poppy's true colors very soon. Because she's never been right, ever. And Black Pinky, you're correct. Katie, you in danger, girl.
Yep. So it's going to be an interesting week, to say the least. And I don't know. Listen, I would rather for Brooke to do that bedroom line, which is hers. She's been running it for decades now, right? I mean, okay, so let me get your opinion. Now, again, 63, lingerie, she look good. I gotta get it to her. Do you think she should be the face of the line, though?
Honestly, storyline-wise, no. Okay. And she made valid points. Like, she's had her time. And it's no offense to the character or the actress. She, like you said, she looks great. She looks fantastic. Better than a lot of people half her age. But it's time to where certain characters need to pass the torch. Right. And that should have been to Hope by now. Like, they should have gotten rid of Hope for the Future by now, because that was like a virginal line for Hope that she tarnished herself. Right. And Hope, she's been married, she's been divorced, she's had some kids. Obviously, she's feeling how she's looking, how her body is. That would have been the perfect person to pass the torch to, and also drive Steffi crazy. Especially since Steffi used to be a part of the lingerie, the I forget what she called her lingerie line. But that used to be Steffi's thing. But if they're trying to turn Hope into Brooke 2.0, that was the direction they needed to go in with that. Unless they're trying to say goodbye to Brooke being the face of that bedroom line and eventually passing it over to Hope, which I'm hoping so. But I get, and on the flip side, I do get the positivity about loving your body at any age and everything, and she's kept up with her body. But storyline-wise, that should have been passed over to Hope, or at least one of or somebody else to pass that torch along.
Right. I agree. I mean, I'm into fitness. I know you're into fitness as well. And as you get older, obviously, we've seen many women in this space, especially, Eileen Davidson is another one. Susan Walters, as I mentioned,
Michelle
Stafford, Sharon Case, and a lot of these ladies that are in their 50s and 60s who look good. I mean, we've seen Sharon Case in lingerie. We've seen Phyllis. Well, Michelle Stafford is always wearing swimwear on her Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of, and that's great. You know, if you got it like that and you keep yourself together, cool. But like Bree said, for the storyline, you have a next generation of Forresters coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So you got hope. Bridget is off being a doctor, so that's not going to work for her. You got hope. She's in fashion. She looked like she wants to explore that sensual, sultry side of herself.
Right.
Put her in that position in the storyline if that's where you want to go with this. Hope for the Future is over. It's not
Yeah.
selling. Don't nobody want to buy it. It's at the it's at the
Salvation
closeout
Army.
sale. I mean, they're
Is that
returning the
Salvation Army?
orders. They don't even. You got rejections, order rejections. It's time to move on. And if your mom has a great bedroom line, I mean, if that was me, which I'm not saying that is me, but if I had a fashion line like that, and I got a 26, 27-year-old daughter, I'd be like, hey, I'm passing the torch. You wear it. I'll be in the background. I'll be overseeing. I'll even be a spoke, get on the stage and talk about it. But I'm gonna let you sport it.
Exactly. It had to come down to that.
Hmm.
And I don't understand why the writers decided to go this direction, but it should come down to passing the torch. Same way Eric passed the torch to Ridge and Thomas and Zende and all the other designers. It has nothing to do with them not being capable of doing
Right.
it. It's just we've seen this for years,
Right.
and it's you have another generation of people. I mean, they let Steffi do it, which is fine, but she's not Brooke Logan's daughter for her to want to pass the torch along. If
Correct.
anything, it should have went to Hope, and the transition that the character's going through fit that role to pass the torch to.
Or else make it all the ladies. I mean, Steffi got a nice body. Okay, of course,
Yeah,
Jacqueline works out. She's the fate. You can be a CEO in the office and slay in the bedroom with your husband.
yeah,
She could wear a piece. Hope could wear a piece. Put a piece on Katie. I mean,
right.
Luna is an
Donna,
adult. She could wear something not as, risque, but, nightwear to sleep in for the Gen Zers.
exactly. Jennifer Garris, who plays Donna, looks fantastic. She's forever in a bikini.
Exactly. They could have
Like
made it
there's
a woman corporate thing, like, hey, all the ladies, the Forrester creation women, you know.
mhm, that needed to be the direction if they were trying to bring back this refurbished line.
Yep.
That's what they needed to do. I thought they were going to do that and have Thomas design on the line, and that's how they were going to put that love story back together. But they said no to that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, right, just ruining July sweeps. But it if they're trying to change Hope's character, that was the direction you needed to go in. But they want her to hang on to this failing line with these bad fashions, and it doesn't even seem like it fits who she is today anymore. And I
Mm-mm.
think until she finds herself, she could have stepped in to see what that role would be like as far as her mother's success, especially since it was a successful line. She can
Yep.
actually see what that feels like for once.
Yep.
And she would have her mother's backing. Like, if there's, I'll never understand the
Look at
direction
look
the
at what
producers are going in.
Jasmine Williams said. The men should do it too. Let Finn model.
Carter, oh my
Girl,
God.
put a nice pair of, I don't know, boxers with a robe, and he come down the aisle, or Finn, or Scott, or Josh, the one that plays RJ. He got enough muscles and arms for days. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they could have really made this one big fashion show for the
Right.
sleepwear and lingerie side.
I agree. I forgot about Joey Tribbiani. They really, he has a great body too. They need to just try to shake things up, especially on Bold. And we say this out of love and respect for the show. We want to see these changes. If you guys are listening out there, writers,
Mm-hmm.
producers, Red Belt, whoever, can
Mm-hmm.
get the message out there. We know it reaches you guys because you've been making some subtle changes.
I
But
mean, even if you want to throw Lee in there, I mean, Naomi is a pretty
she has a
lady.
and she has a great body.
Yes, she does.
If you guys seen her like on her Instagram, like she once again another woman keeping herself together. The woman who plays Poppy, beautiful woman, great body. Like it, nothing against Brooke or Catherine Kelly Lang. It's just we need to see things move forward and not backward. It shouldn't be a rinse and repeat. If you're bringing back a refurbished line, pass it to Hope and let's see what she can do with it.
Okay, because there's some people say it's not a men's line, not to add that to it. What happens, and if you watch shows, sometimes like, and I don't know if they do this in the Victoria's Secret fashion show or La
Mm-hmm.
Perla, or sometimes you'll have the men escort the ladies because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So even though the primary focus is the bedroom line by Brooke with the ladies wearing the lingerie, and they could have had all these beautiful women on this show do it, then the men would be like they can escort them or something, but they have on something cute. We get to see some abs. Come on, you got to be creative, writers. You know, that's just my
Yeah,
thought. So
and they've kind of just watered everything down to like two pieces of fashion. I think the most that we've seen as far as like a fashion line was when Eric and Ridge were battling it out
right,
last December, and that
right,
was it.
right, right. So well, you guys, we will see because this is about to get interesting. Steffi is about to get all up in her fifis this week. If it ain't about Finn and his mama, it's Hope, and then it's this bedroom line that is getting under her skin.
Yeah, and there's nothing she can really do about it now. I mean, she just needs to have that man be clear about where he stands and stop waffling. She already dealt with a waffler for 12 years.
Girl, they making Finn look worse than Liam.
Right. Like they gave Liam a whole new fresh coat of paint.
Yes,
Like
they
who is this
did.
Liam? Like he's likable and he's not trying to be underneath of both women because Hope is still single technically. He's not trying to follow underneath her, and he's not trying to pull Steffy out of her marriage as much. But
Yeah. Oh, one other thing, I did not see anything this week in regards to Hope and Thomas, and a lot of people were hoping, which is why something tells me that something happened, because they went from wanting to have a quick wedding at the Forrester Mansion to we're going to just stay engaged and head off to Paris. So I don't know what happened behind the scene, and we have no Thomas and Paris sightings for the week of the 22nd through the 26th.
mm, and that's so weird, especially since they threw Thomas in the summer promo.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I know with one of the lives that we had a whole discussion that some folks were assuming that maybe something happened with his contract or something like that. I don't know what the situation is, but it was really abrupt. He was here and then he was gone.
Yeah. Jasmine. Jasmine Williams said Eric could model silk pajamas. Yeah, Santa Claus could model some pajamas. I can see that. And Melissa Spencer said someone called Ridge a waffle iron.
He's the original waffler. He is the original, and then we gave Liam 2.0. Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Now we might as well throw Finn in there too, girl.
Yeah, this is just.
Oh, yeah, it's just a turn off. All right. Thanks so much, Bree. I mean, I wanted to get back and I missed talking the soaps with you guys. Y'all too. But I had a good time this weekend. I can't ignore that. We had a ball and looking forward to our next trip. We're talking about going to the Florida Keys in December.
Oh.
Yeah, the end of November. My daughter's 27th birthday. She was like, let's go to the Florida Keys. So it's Amerly Island or something. Did I put it's down by Sarasota? Are you familiar, Bree? I know you're a Florida
Yeah,
girl.
that's a little bit towards the south.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good time of year because I'll be out of a hurricane season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. So we've already got an idea of we're gonna stay on the beach down there again at the end of the year. So we're looking forward to the next trip already.
Good. It's important to enjoy your family and spend time with them. Absolutely. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, we did. And I actually got on a couple roller coasters too. Because I know Keish was saying, did you ride anything? And I'm like, yeah, I got on a couple of them. So I did. All right. What did she say? I heard Matthew Atkinson was out right before I got this notification. Really, Dewan? Hey, you're in the Facebook group. If you see that, post that in the Facebook group or send it to me in Messenger. Okay? Because I want to see that. I want to see
that's
that,
a whole other
Dewan.
different conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. Maybe a whole different video in itself.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope not.
All right, you guys. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer because I know it's late. It's about 11:30 on the East Coast, and I had to not only come here, I had to turn around and take my son to the airport, and then got back home. And then I said I'm gonna do a live with you guys because I missed talking to you all. We didn't get no recaps, no spoilers, no live on Friday night. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna just do it all in one kit and caboodle. See if my girl Bree was available, and here we are. So I appreciate it. So
absolutely.
Go ahead. What you say, girlie?
No, I said absolutely. I missed you guys as well. Especially with the stuff we saw today.
Yeah, I know, right? So make sure you guys hit the like button so other folks who didn't get a chance to jump on the live actually get to see the replay. So, YouTube will put it out there. And it was something else I was going to say. Oh, we still probably going to do I know I just did one tonight. We'll probably still do a midweek chat if you're available, Bree, on Wednesday. Or we can just wait to Friday. So, look at that. Somebody said, good night, see you Wednesday. Before I could even finish my statement. They're like, oh no. We're getting our midweek chat on Wednesday. So, all right. The one I was sure is clickbait because we haven't heard it. Maybe it was clickbait, Myra. Yeah, that's why I wanted to check and see. All right, Bree, I'm going to let you go, girlie. And yes, we'll chat about the other stuff too. So I didn't forget about that or overlook that. All right, girl.
All righty.
Okay, so
thank you guys.
Yeah, until next time, we will see you all soon. Good night, Soapies.
Night.